Nobody in this day and age would take the effort to do this. It's just a one-of-a-kind piece of art that just probably will never be recreated. This is a series of lost art. One of a kind. I took a lot of different vocational educations in my life, so I could be a machinist, a welder, a carpenter, a sheet metal worker. So it's taken an entrepreneurial, artistic, and tradesman to create this. So I did it myself, and other friends that were in trades, I would pay them their burden for them and their people, so I could create this architectural masterpiece designed by the likes of the Disneys. My name's Michael Jack Girdner, and welcome to my home. I want to introduce you to this 10,000-foot, 100-acre estate that I've created for our family. The house consists of antiques from all over the world. It sits on the Stanislaus River and has a lake in the front yard and creeks and streams around the property. This is the great room. What we wanted to try to achieve here is the country home of perhaps an industrialist like myself. So it's a blend of country, French, Elizabethan, and hunting lodge, and with a little Tudor and Gothic. So this great room is almost 50 feet tall and quite large, as you can see, and it's a good place to entertain. We have the use of water in a lot of areas. We've got over 2,000 feet of creeks, waterfalls, lakes. We've got very nice koi fish, and we also have a Florida strain largemouth black bass that they grow quite large in our lakes. We have a boat ramp. We have a boat house. We've probably got 20 different types of boats here for recreation. It's like the hunting lodge or recreating place for the industrialists of the turn of the century. When you hire masons, they don't do this kind of work. And we had several meetings, arguments about how to go about it. And I had a feeling for what I wanted, and I showed them what I wanted, and I made a deal that cost was no object. If it went up and I didn't see it and didn't like it, that it would come down and we'd make it just as I liked it. And this mason had never ever left the job in his life. He left twice here, but he came back and said, I'm never gonna have it on my resume that I ever quit a job. So he came back and he finished, and we went through times when he said it couldn't be done. When he got done, he said, look how cool I am. We created this country French Elizabethan chateau with the help of Robert McDonnell, formerly of the Disney Company. The original design was too much Prince Charming and too sparkly, and we went back and we said, well, we have to have more hobbity, more whimsical. The Disney gentleman, literally when we went to Los Angeles to ask him to change it, rushed to his third story and would not come down and would not meet with us because he was so heartbroken that we didn't like his original design. But we quickly told his wife that we were not leaving his property no matter how many days it took. And ultimately we changed it. The Disney designer, Robert F. McDonnell, wanted fireplaces in all the main locations. When we were building this home, we had a staircase builder, and early on, when he just started, I could see that he wasn't doing it correctly. I asked him what it would take him in terms of money to just leave so I could finish it myself. And he promptly said, I will get in my truck with my tools and leave. We can call it even. And I built this myself. when a person in the private sector hires a professional, they should take your idea and enhance it. And well, in our case, because we had a great deal of artistic expertise ourselves, we would give our ideas to the architect, he would give his ideas, we would come back and absorb it and enhance it. Because my co-designer, partner in life, was also very artistic, so you take those 3 or 4 artistic minds, and then you just spend a lifetime of work creating something, you get excellence. This was my daughter's room originally. So it's got her dresses from a little girl clear through her prom. This second bedroom is the bedroom of Austin, our firstborn son. He's now 33. And you can see this is a different style of furniture, but it does match the era. In a lot of the restrooms in various places, there's extensive use of stained glass. These are original family portraits. They have been hanging there for about 35 years, shortly after the home was completed. This is a lady named Mattie Pence, my great-great-grandmother. Her father was Arthur Pence, one of the statesmen from Idaho. His brother is the great-great-grandfather of Mike Pence, the Vice President of the United States. Here on the way to the master suite, we have what was originally a studio for art. My wife was an artist. She spent many years in here doing portraits. This room here is the master, and once again it opens up to the nice deck. This is the original railing, as in the monorail at Disneyland. And when you take care of things, they can last for great periods of time. But you can see how we've well maintained this, and it's so very beautiful. And it also gives you an example of one of the many courtyards and the modern pavers that we've also installed. There's probably 35 to 40,000 square feet of pavers. There's over $1 million worth of asphalt, complete with bank turns. It's very high grade, so you can race little vehicles around it if you chose to. So you can see it's quite a beautiful place. This was done by the artist of the home, and it's got scripture that runs around the top of the room. And you can see the elaborate archwork on these Gothic windows. And then this is the master bathroom. And then here's the master closet for the man, complete with the top hats. And then over here, we have the lady of the house's closet. And it's got a tremendous amount of California closet accoutrements. And now we head up to the third floor, which is where we had to pursue our Disney architect when we had a difference of opinion. We've almost got a whole nother home here. When we built the home, we put a lot of extra plumbing and electrical. In this room here, it's plumbed so that we can have a kitchen or a bar right here for entertaining. And then you can see the very, very beautiful moss that grows on the ends of the shingles. It's just nature's architecture. Then you can see our main turret there, and it's also growing a lot of very nice moss on it. I planted all of these redwoods. It was probably 35 to 40 years ago. So oftentimes I'm looking at the ground, picking up things, and I never tend to look up. And I started looking up a while back, and I couldn't believe how large these trees have grown. We can go down the servants' back staircase, and you'll see Arthur Pence, the great-great-grandfather of Mike Pence. Here's another example of the antique components. And as you can see, this old leaded window is extremely bowed, and you can see that it doesn't hinge from the side or the top, but the bottom. These are the original chains. When I found these windows, they had the hooks, chains, and latches, and they have a very elaborate ceiling system made out of copper for the weather, but they didn't have frames. So we have, like a lot of country homes, we have our own paint department, complete with paint booth. We have our own metal shop. We have our own wood shop and sheet metal shop. So we created a lot of this window frames in our shop. And as you can see, we created the bars in the windows. This here is a game room or billiards room. There's another room at the other end of this that you could have the winery in, as well as all the tunnels with case goods or other things for storage. But right now we're using it for a game room. It's a cool haven in the summer. You got the water breezes. And we did have 50 carriages, all European, and 25 Frisian horses. So we lived the medieval life, thus the armor in the entryway. We still have a very elaborate carriage house with carriages and all our harness on the property, as well as quite a trail system. And a lot of the tunnels, when you're under the ground with the water, you'll see that they all leak. So as that, we've got our share of leaks, and it's just part of being underground. And also a part of being underground, the temperature is 58 degrees, which happens to be very nice for wine. And this tunnel was designed so we could go to our carriage house, our machine shop, our wood shop, underground. And we haven't quite made it there, but the tunnel system is very elaborate and it's nice, and it acts very nice, just as in Disneyland, they've got wardrobe, repairs, maintenance, so we could have our cooking and our servants go out in several places to serve people above ground. They'll just come out of the ground at a minute's notice. We also really treasure and value these oak trees. So what we've done to make sure that they're safe, we've built them their own caverns to protect them. So this is where the deck surrounds a native oak, and the deck above us is over 10 feet taller than the base. So what we've done is we've built it its own compartment, and we've protected it from any intrusion other than us putting our foundations around it. So it's something that people who really appreciate fine craftsmanship really ought to see and enjoy. A lot of people who have homes like this work their whole life. Building a home is really hard on a marital relationship because there's so many varied opinions, especially when both of them are artistic, like my wife at the time. But we did it at a very young age, and it was beautiful because we not only survived the build of the home, we got to enjoy it for many, many years and raise a nice set of children. It was quite a great success, so we've enjoyed it from the very start.